Hi guys! Today I am going to share my favorite top tips for solo RV travel, which frankly can also be applied to any solo expedition. But because I am living the full-time RV life solo, I'm relating these tips directly to RV life because honestly, let's be real. It is a whole different ballgame when it's just you, your rig, and the open road. So whether you are a solo traveler or just thinking about hitting the road alone, then stick around. By the end of this video, you're going to feel like a road warrior, or maybe at least know how to avoid some of the rookie mistakes that I've definitely made. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Tony. I am an interior designer by trade and an adventurer by heart. I am a single mom, an empty nester, and a full-time RV'er. This channel is all about living life outside the lines, literally and figuratively. I am on a mission to make my next chapter the best one yet, and I'm dragging you guys all along for the ride. So if you're into RV life, tiny space design, exploring new towns, and maybe even occasionally dabbling in mindset and motivation, then you, my friend, are in the right place. So go ahead, smash that subscribe button below and click the bell so you get notified every time I publish a new video. I am so beyond excited to share this journey, and I am even more excited to hear about yours. Now, without further ado, or my rambling, let's just get to the tips. Tip number 1, trust your gut and your GPS. I'm gonna kick things off with a little reality check. RV travel can get super dicey if you're not paying attention to your instincts or your GPS. Now, solo travel means that you are doing all of the decision making on your own. So when your gut is telling you, maybe this backwoods campsite isn't giving the best vibes, then listen to it. Trust me, you don't want your cozy campfire turning into a scene from a horror movie. Which reminds me, never run into a rundown old shed full of chainsaws to hide from the big bad dude. Just saying, that tip is a freebie. But while your gut is great for intuition, your GPS is much better for directions. You miss a turn in an RV and you might end up in a super tight spot, literally. There are many a road that is not suitable for big rigs, and once you end up on one, turning around is not always an option, or at least not an easy option. Trust me, I've white-knuckled my way through many windy, tight roads, and I'm over it. I'd much rather go a little bit out of my way than leave my handprints on my steering wheel permanently, or even worse, block the road for hours while driving 5 miles per hour and 50 people are behind me honking their horns and yelling ridiculous obscenities. I mean, come on, people. That will not make me feel any better or go any faster. I typically use both Google Maps and Apple Maps at the same time. Yes, there are apps specifically for traveling with a big trailer, but I haven't actually found one that works as well as just some good old-fashioned planning does. Always, always double check your routes as much as you can to make sure that they are RV friendly. In fact, this particular tip is so super important that I'm actually working on creating a full-length video that talks about how to plan your routes. So stay tuned for that one if you're interested. Tip number 2, know your RV inside and out. Okay, this next tip is actually huge and will help with the planning of your route tip that I just mentioned. Knowing your RV. I'm not saying that you have to become a full-blown mechanic, but you really do need to know how your home on wheels works and what the overall dimensions of the RV is. That means understanding things like tank levels, tire pressure, and how to dump your black tank without causing a disaster. Because if that goes wrong, well, let's just say that that will be a smell that you'll never forget. And for the record, the stuff that comes out of your black tank, it not only smells like the worst thing you could ever imagine, but it also stings. Not knowing the ins and outs of your RV can turn a dream trip into a nightmare real quick. So learn how to fix the little things before they turn into ginormous things. Plus, you'll feel like a total rock star when you handle an issue by yourself. And trust me, you will definitely have to handle something at some point. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. The more you know, the smoother your trips will be. Plus, there really is no better feeling than rolling up to a campsite knowing that you've got this. Tip number 3, make friends with fellow RV'ers and their dogs. One of the coolest things about RV life is the community. RV parks are kind of like little pop-up neighborhoods. The majority of the people in campgrounds are so ridiculously friendly. And just to put things into a numbers perspective, as of 2024, there were about 1 million full-time RVers living their best nomadic life in the United States. And the number continues to grow annually, probably because a lot of folks realized that living and working on the road wasn't really just for retirees or adventurers, but it's really for anyone seeking freedom from their comfort zones or the man or whatever. The RV life demographic is a mix of retirees, remote workers, families, solo expeditionists, and lately, more millennials. They seem to be hopping on the bandwagon thanks to this huge rise of van life culture. That's a huge amount of camaraderie, and great campsite stories. Plus, with all that RV life experience out there, there is a really great chance that you're going to learn something new or gain some insight into some cool new place to visit that you may not have had on your radar. A great way to break the ice is by complimenting someone's rig. People love to talk about their rigs or their dog. Definitely their dog. I mean, who can resist talking about their pup? Not me. You guys hear about Gizmo all the time. But whether you're asking about the best campgrounds or tips for leveling your RV, your fellow RVers have probably seen it all. So don't be shy. Make friends. You never know when you're going to need a helping hand or someone to share that campfire with. Tip number 4, stay connected without a Wi-Fi meltdown. One of the 21st century RV travelers' greatest strugglers is most definitely Wi-Fi. If you're thinking, oh, I'll just connect at the RV park, that's cute. Wi-Fi at some campgrounds can be, for lack of a better way to say it, a bit of a joke. And that's even if they have Wi-Fi in the campgrounds. I make a point of always reading the reviews about the campgrounds, and specifically the ones that talk about Wi-Fi, for many reasons. But one of the main reasons is because people are not afraid to be upfront about either the lack of cell service in an area or the lack of Wi-Fi. I don't exactly have a foolproof way of having Wi-Fi wherever I go, but I have tried a few things. Satellite, for one, like Starlink, works sometimes if there are no trees or clouds or rain. But for the amount of times that it did work, it seemed like a waste of money and a hassle, really, to find a place to put it so it could actually see past the trees or the mountains or the buildings, because it has to see the sky to be able to connect. Plus, it always had to be set up, meaning I couldn't just use it super easily if I pulled into a rest stop for the night. I do know that it is improving. For now, what I'm currently using works for me. I'm using a hotspot. I have a Verizon MiFi and AT&T cell service. So typically one of them works well no matter where I am. My advice, if you're going somewhere cell service isn't great and you don't have satellite or don't want to deal with it, then just plan ahead. Download maps, movies, playlists, whatever you think you might need for your trip, and do it before you hit the road. A quiet night at home on the road can be nice, but sometimes the silence is deafening. Plus, without Netflix, how are you ever going to find out what happens with Emily in Paris and Gabrielle? But hey, sometimes it really is nice to unplug. No Wi-Fi? No problem. It just means more time to soak in the view or actually open that book that you've been meaning to read or listen to. Either way. Tip number 5, solo dining. Here is something I love about solo RV travel. You never have to wait for a dinner reservation or for anyone else to decide what they're in the mood for. My RV kitchen may be tiny, but I've whipped up some pretty amazing meals, if I say so myself. Plus, you're in a spot you chose for a reason, right? Amazing mountain views, rivers, the beach, all literally right outside your door. Even the most amazing views at a restaurant can't possibly compare to being able to enjoy those amazing views in my house pants, in a comfy chair, with my travel partner, aka the gizmo. Yes, there are times I do prefer a night out, which is something else I'm planning to create a video around because getting out and meeting the locals is a whole experience in itself. But for the sake of this video, it's all about solo dining. Whether it's campfire s'mores or a gourmet salad, the best part is eating wherever and whatever you want with a view to die for. No crowds, no noise, just me and my gizmo, my food, and the great outdoors. And sometimes the beach, mostly times the beach. Plus, the wine, so much cheaper at home. So cheers to the solo diners where the only person stealing your fries is, oh wait, it's Gizmo. It's always Gizmo stealing my fries. Tip number 6, be your own photographer. You want to capture your adventures without a personal photographer? You absolutely can. Just grab a selfie stick, a tripod, or if you're into, super high-tech things, then get a drone. You can document your solo travels in style. And the best part, you can take as many shots as you want without anyone rolling their eyes at you. I've actually gotten some of my best photos just by setting up my tripod and letting nature be the backdrop. Whether you're posing with your RV or just snapping pictures of the views, you don't really need anyone else to get that Insta-worthy shot. Tip number 7, safety first, fun second. Okay, here's some real talk. Solo RV travel is all about freedom, but it's super important to be smart about safety. Share your route with someone before you leave. Lock your doors at night and be completely aware of your surroundings. There are plenty of apps out there that can help keep people in the loop, like Find My Friends, or one of my faves, Life 360, which my sister says I use to stalk her because I constantly ask how her meals were after she leaves a restaurant. But that works both ways. And I know that she always knows where I am too. By the way, I did pick up that app when my daughter started driving a few years ago, which for those of you who don't know, it actually captures your speed while you drive. My daughter and I had an agreement. She had to keep the app on all the time, and I would not ask her 1,000 questions about where she was going or why. Although sometimes I do feel like I ask about 999 questions, but that wasn't part of the deal. So I win. Also, adding on to the safety tip in another way, brush up on some basic RV maintenance. I said it before, you don't need to be a mechanic, but knowing how to fix a flat or troubleshoot some random hiccup can save you a world of stress, especially when it's on the side of a major highway at 11 o'clock at night and there's no street lights. Tip number 8, make time to do nothing. Literally, take time, do nothing. Just because you're traveling solo doesn't mean that you need to be constantly on the move. The beauty of RV life is that your home goes wherever you go. So just slow down a little bit. Enjoy a lazy morning by the lake or a quiet afternoon on the beach, or not my cup of tea, but a peaceful sunset in the desert. Sometimes the best part of RV travel is just being. No plans, no agenda, just you and the open road. There are so many amazing things out there, and we humans tend to get so focused on how to live life that we actually miss out on living life. One thing that I stopped doing recently was setting my alarm for the morning. I tend to wake up early anyway, but I always had this weird fear of missing out if I slept past 7 a.m. So I'd set my alarm every day. I stopped doing that about a month ago. And to be honest, it is such a feeling of relief. So from now on, the only time I set my alarm is on travel day, or if I absolutely have to be somewhere at a certain time. Otherwise, I'm sleeping in until my body says, girl, get up. All right, my friends, those are my top tips for solo RV travel. I really hope that they help you feel more confident about hitting the road on your own. And if any of you have your own tips, then drop them in the comments below. And please, if you're willing, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and maybe share this video with anyone else thinking about RV life. And until next time, I'll see ya.